gonna be like a bit, I suppose, I think it's going to be a short one because very small changes. Got a bit of dust in my room. I have to clean this thing up. Very small changes, pretty much just buffs and changes from this week's playtest sessions. So without further ado, let's. Oh yeah, I also made a few new cards, which interesting, I suppose. This one should be here. Okay. Let's begin with the wind ones. Arabian Thief and Secret Agent. Now they. So like. Because okay, so this one is like when he used to be like when he inflicts damage to your opponent. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you add 1 to your hand, and then you banish the rest. Now, and this one is like you look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, you discard 1 card from his hand. Now it's like if they inflict damage through like direct damage, or if they destroy a soul by battle, they get to do that. I think I also increased their damage by 1, because I think it used to be 1 damage only. So like now they inflict 2 damage, bit more of a chance to do that. They still only have like a 1 puny health, but you know, it is what it is. Now I do believe that they are going to be a little bit more useful for control decks or aggro decks. Right, if you run a deck where like you run a lot of destruction, like Hyper Supernova and Nuclear Horizon, right, and Lacerate and Murder and so on and so forth, these guys are going to get like a lot more of a chance to deal damage and get their powerful effects to go on. And that is also true for the water, because like now every time they set a card face down and they become like 1 HP, so like now they can just go to town, because like now they can easily kill these 1 health set cards and get their effects going. So I think they're going to be a lot more valuable in water due to their like setting effects, and should be, as I said, more useful in control decks. I mean, this guy just screams control deck, right? So very interesting. For darkness, I had a few artwork changes. Reincarnation, it was originally like intended to be like a Minch painting, and I think now it looks a little bit more like the Minch style, which is an artist that I really connect to. Contract with the Necromancer now features Victoria in the artwork, dealing with some old man. I don't know if I showed this on the old devlog actually. I think I did not. I don't think I did. Yeah. Oh yeah, I also forgot Samira. She has been changed a little bit. But you know, before I go here, yeah, like now it features her like sort of like making a contract, like, and also in the flavor, right? In the contract, like offering like a contract for like a scroll that will provide necromancy spell to some kind of old man who wants it for some reason, right? I also added like some more flavor text so people can get to know a little bit more of the characters, the leader characters that they're playing as. Body Reincarnation now has a new artwork where You can reconstruction, body reconstruction, where there's an actual body being reconstructed from scratch, right? Through technology, right? In a world of constant change and innovation, some seek to remake themselves completely. Victoria. Interesting that I didn't fix her title. She now has a different effect. Like now her effects are a little bit different. Now it's like once per turn, you target one soul from your grave and you discard one soul in your hand. Special summon the target soul in the graveyard. And if this card destroys a soul, you can place a +1 on this card. So she becomes like more powerful every time she kills someone, instead of making a zombie. A bit of a nerf for her, but it's alright. Vampire Rogue. This card is not updated. What the hell? How is this card not updated? Excuse me, sir. Vampire Rogue. I think she's down here. Wow, this is weird. I'm pretty sure I had fixed her. I actually put it on my notebook that I fixed her. Strange. Yeah, ADHD is weird sometimes, bro. Vampire Rogue. I guess I'll just say it here. Wait, no, I didn't save her change? How? This is fucking weird. Whatever. Vampire Rogue. Now, if she is discarded, not milled, she mills 3 cards from the top of your deck. Also, why did I word it like this? Okay, hold on. When Mutant Tomato dies, he places a -1 counter on a soul on the field. Not when he, I mean when he said it's the same thing, but I made the word dies to not have to write all of this shit. So that's weird. This card should have its HP. Which is weird because... What the hell? What is going on? Dude. This is so weird. This one actually is supposed to... Okay. I think I forgot to somehow save the thing. Dude, sometimes I wish these fucking things would just auto-save themselves. It's so annoying to save and unsave and save and unsave and oh my fucking god, bro. There we go. This is like the second time. I feel like, yeah, it's the second time I do this. So weird. I had fixed this before. I remember. So like now, her backside, because like before, like it used to be like she would place a corruption counter on things to get the demon deck going with the, like, you know, placing demon counters on your opponent's cards. The problem is that like the demons have a lot of cards and effects that already place demon counters on your opponents. They don't need too much help with that. What they need help with is for the corruption counters to do something. Because there's a lot of cards where it's like you just place the counter and you just wait. You just wait for something to happen. I also think that I changed Succubus and I forgot to place her here. Now, her leader effect is that you tap her and then every card that has like a corruption counter loses -1 damage and -1 damage and HP for each counter that they have, and every demon soul with a corruption counter that is misspelled gains a +1 damage and HP. And then her outside is just the same thing that it used to be. Chinatown Succubus. She's a little bit different now. Like before, she used to have this effect where like you could make your opponent's souls attack your souls, but that was literally useless. Oh, louco! Oh, I think I started the live stream. Whatever. I'll just get the what's it called? The live stream recording and put it on my and save it on my computer. It's actually better than I do this because it's raining outside and then the power might go out, so it's whatever. So now she has the power to you can remove 2 corruption counters from target soul, and if you do, you take control of target soul until the end of turn. So like now she's kind of like a mind control of her soul, which is more useful than her useless effect, which is like, oh, you make your opponent card attack you or whatever the fuck. Vampire Lady. Now if she is discarded, she is revived. Instead of like, oh, if this card was destroyed by a card effect, it would be special summon on your next upkeep. It was a useless effect, and it felt a little bit more like a fire effect than a dark effect, so it's more thematic. Also, I am trying to make it so that the vampires have like this play style of getting some kind of advantage when they are discarded. So like this is why, you know, this card is like, oh, when this card is milled or sorry, when this card is discarded, you mill 3 cards from your deck, and this one you just revive it, and that is why I changed Victoria to make it so that like she now discards to special summon from the graveyard to revive instead of sacrificing a soul that you control, because it gives her more synergy with her fellow vampires. As far as the fire ones, I changed Craig's first ability. Now it's like it's only 1 fire, and it's not just for goblins, it's for all souls altogether. Any soul, it's like, you know, just target soul gets +2 damage. The reason for that change is because Fred is like a 1 earth, tap him, and then he permanently increases the damage and HP of a soul, and she's just like, so it kind of makes her effect by comparison look very weak. It's just like, until the end phase, it's only for a goblin, and it's pretty much the same amount, right? So it wasn't looking very good. Before I go to the new, I should have actually went with like the flavor. Murder now has a new better artwork, and an artwork that actually shows Victoria murdering someone for political intrigue, for political reasons. Because when she was alive, she was like this lady who was like trying to get into power, right? And she had her political schemes and tried to manipulate the Romanian court to do her bidding and getting rid of problematic individuals by her own hands, right? Fired Up now also has an artwork that features a leader. It features Firebrand firing it up. This does actually refer to like a thing in the lore where it's like it's Firebrand calling Fred for a fight, for a 1v1. And he was trying to burn his forest in order to get his attention. He says, "There's someone burning your precious forest. Come fight me if you dare, Dryad." Is what he says. New card, Lazy Lizard. It's a pretty, like, it looks weak, but I think it's actually pretty strong, in my opinion. This card cannot be untapped after it attacks. Also, destroy. So, like, you know, if this card, like, and this card hits with, like, 6 damage, and it's unblockable. Sorry, let me read chat. Real quickerino. I read one. No, I don't plan on selling merchandise, not yet. It's too soon. Like, maybe in the future, but right now it's too soon. Do you tend to sell? Blah blah blah. Vampire pillow. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. So Lazy Lizard hits for 6 damage and it's unblockable, so your opponent can't really respond with like blocks. And additionally, if he's like, the only way to untap this card by his own effect is to destroy a fire aura that you control. And I think that this might actually be pretty strong because of right now, like him, because he's basically like cannon fodder. He's like, he hits like a cannon, but then he dies very easily. And we also have like Creepster, who's like he's pretty much the same. He's like, he sacrifices himself and then he inflicts 5 damage to something adjacent to him. But this requires him to sacrifice himself, while Lazy Lizard is like, you still get to keep him on the field, protecting your life points. And Eye of Fire is similar because he hits for 5 damage. And then he kind of has like something a little bit better where he's like, he burns everything around him for 5 damage. This can backfire, it can hit your cards as well. And it's kind of bad because like he has to survive after he attacks in order to get the explosion going on. Well, this guy is just like, you just summon him and it's just like 6 damage and then he does something else. I think he is pretty good actually. Not to mention that like his destruction effect can combo with some cards like right now there's like 2 cards that can combo into it. This motherfucker, where he's like, if he's destroyed, you summon like a token. And this guy, where if you destroy him, you can burn a target by 1, so you can kill like minions or souls that have 1 HP only. And finally, I made Giant Orc. He's big and hits like a truck. He has the effect where like if he's equipped with a card, you destroy the card, which might be useful in the future maybe. I don't know. Also when he attacks, he destroys a field card, which can be useful. Like it's pretty much like the only card so far that can destroy field cards. And if you're playing him on a Earth deck, he has the effect where it's like you can destroy 1 artifact card instead, and he hits for more damage. So yeah. Earth cards. Zelor. I made it so that like I changed Fred, like the artwork on Destroy Magic to feature Fred now, and it shows like him being like a badass and destroying some kind of magical barrier with his fists. Brawl also changed the artwork for the sake of lore, where it shows Fred training his disciple, which is also like a dryad fighter. And Woodpunk Robot, I changed the artwork to look a little bit more like a medieval robot. Dude, I'm not making pillows, bro. Giant Orc. Oh wait, no, Giant Cocoon. I changed the backside of Perfect Giant Moth. Turns out she was a little bit too strong. Like, one thing that I kind of like forgot when I was like changing her is that when this card dies by battle, it turns into Perfect Giant Moth. So I put an effect where like if this card was summoned by having Giant Cocoon destroyed, you negate this card's effect, so it loses all of its effect. Also, the effect to place like -1 counters on enemy cards every turn was a little bit too strong, so I put it on her attack instead. So like now when she attacks, she puts -2/1 counters on every single card your opponent controls, and then she burns like by 1 damage for each -1 counter your opponent controls. So now she's a little bit weaker, a lot weaker actually, but she's still like viable as fuck. Very good card for sure. Giant Swordsman, new card. When this card is equipped, no, it's like not once per turn, like as many times as you want, you can equip a card from your aura pool to this card. She has Death Touch, which is like very good for Earth because Earth has like they basically have no effect destruction. So like in the future I'll try to make like more cards for Earth with Death Touch, so that they can get rid of cards that has like battle proof, which is like really bad for them. Additionally, she has like an attack called Sword Slash, which is X times per turn, untap this card after it attacks, where X is the number of cards that are equipped to it. So it's like the more times you equip her with something, the more times she can attack. So you can actually OTK with this card if you use her Sword Slash enough times. So that's pretty cool. Grand Arboros has been like changed. Like it's a buff and a nerf. When he dies, when he's destroyed, you place him as an aura on your aura pool, very similarly to the kitten, like this guy. What else? Oh yeah, and finally, Despondent Dryad. Like she was pretty terrible. She was awful. So like now I made it so that she has Death Touch, which is gonna be very helpful for Earth, like because you need Death Touch in this deck. If you're running like, at least if you're running like solo Earth. I moved her battle proof so that like now it only works if you have like a water aura. And to compensate for this, I made it so that like her effect where like if she's targeted by a card effect, she's destroyed, like her like disadvantage, is now changed so that like it only happens if you have like a dark aura, which is actually a buff because this triggers if she is like mind controlled by darkness. So if darkness like targets her like with like if darkness takes control of this card, you can target her with any effect and she just automatically dies. So it's actually a buff. Doppelganger, I changed her artwork and I changed her effects to make it so that like she copy the so that the copy uses your opponent's auras instead of yours, because then because what would happen to this card is that like you would summon it and you would copy like one of your opponent's cards, and then you wouldn't be able to attack or do anything with it because you wouldn't have your opponent's auras. So yeah. Iron Patroller, I just changed her like to be like a fairy, and I changed her effect, and I nerfed her damage a little bit. Xerxes, I changed its artwork to look better, and I also made it so that so that during the end phase, I can untap one Djinn I control, so that the Djinns can protect my artifacts. This is like a huge weakness with the Djinn archetype. They rely on a lot of like artifacts that provide them with like with mana counters. Oh yeah, I also changed the name for like of spell counters to mana counters because it made more sense. Also, I changed his first effect to make it so that like instead of like his first effect was like weird. It was like you would untap a Djinn and then put like a protection counter on it, and then you would untap it. It was weird and bad. Now it's and the Djinn needed to have like a mana counter for no reason. Now it's just like you just place a mana counter, because like Djinns are kind of like the opposites of the demons, where the demons needed like cards to do something when you have like a corruption counter, but the Djinns needed more cards that provided mana counter, and because they already have like all of the stuff that do something when you have a mana counter. So opposite problem. Like Tyrant. What? Capturing Ooze. New card. When this card is summoned, you equip one card on the field onto this card, but you return that card to its owner field when this card leaves the field. So it's just a way to temporarily dealing with problematic cards. She does have battle proof, and she hits for 1 damage. Changelings are very effective in the police. And also a new card, Elliot, the Academic Arcanist, a male fairy boy or professor. He has the effect where it's like, once per turn, when a soul activates its effect, you remove 2 mana counters from this card, and then you counter that soul. So you negate the effect and you destroy the card. He has flying, he has like 3 health, which is like very puny. And when he attacks, he hits for 6 damage, which is pretty good for Water Soul. And you place a mana counter on this card. This card is like already one of the best cards in Water. It is super strong for control. It's pretty decent for aggro. It's just like a really good card. Evil Lander? Like no Hollander. I don't even know who that is. But yeah. Those are all the changes that I have been working on so far. Yeah, those are the changes. So I will be ending the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, because it helps so much. Check our Indiegogo if it interests you. It has like more information on the project. Check the Discord, join our Discord group. It's fun. So yeah, like blah blah blah. You know, it is what it is. I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.